This is Ashton Marcus, and I'm on location at Atwater Village Theater for the Open Fist Theater presentation of 1 Year Later.
Hi, my name is Ashton Marcus. I'm with KUCI 88.9 FM in Irvine. I'm here with...
Hi, I am Amanda Weier. I'm the Associate Artistic Director of Open Fist, and I helped work with Martha and our curators to put the evening together. And I've been a member of the company for 15 years, and I directed 3 pieces, and I acted in 3 pieces.
Great, and which characters did you play?
I played the character in The Contributor, which started Act 2. I played the character in I Saw What You Said, which is about a Facebook fight. And then my final character was in the 1 in 5 devised piece, which speaks to the many times women get near misses on assault in our world. Happy-go-lucky comedy.
Great, and what's your take on your favorite character?
Well, I always love working on Ron West's work because we just have done a lot of Second City stuff together, and I think The Contributor and the idea of a musical version of Fire and Fury just makes me laugh. I would see it. I love that sort of satire and that news stuff. And I'm also a really big fan of I Saw What You Said because we all get into those weird social media, like back and forths, and I think it calls attention to the fact that if we'd actually talk to each other instead of just spew vitriol online, that feels important. And 1 in 5 is close to me simply because those are all stories that women in the cast brought to it. So it's one of those situations where it's maybe not a favorite because it sucks that it's happening, but I think it's important.
Yeah, I remember that piece, so I love that piece. Interesting enough, though, I noticed people didn't applaud at the end, and I understand why. It wasn't because it was bad. It was actually very shocking, and it was very awkward, but obviously it was meant to be that way.
I think so. And Lane, who, I don't know if you've spoken with her yet, but it was her concept, and then she reached out to all the women in the company and said, can you write a few lines about the last time you were afraid or made to feel uncomfortable or felt unsafe? And, she got all of these people writing in. And so as far as something you'd applaud after, it's tough. I mean, it ends with a true bang. And in light of what happened a couple of days ago in Florida, and in light of just the Me Too and Time's Up stuff, I think we cheer because voices are being heard, but I think it's hard to make it look as though it's another performance because it's just a little too visceral for that.
I agree, but I love the piece.
Yeah.
I actually love the rest of the pieces too.
Yeah, well, I'm glad, and I'm so glad that you were here for it, and hopefully more people will come. If you don't like one piece, we got 13 others, so they're bound to like something, right?
Yeah, well, I love them all. Thank you very much for being on the show.
Thank you. I'll see you soon, talk to you soon.
Hi, my name is Ashton Marcus. I'm with KUCI 88.9 FM in Irvine. I'm here with
Amy Moorman. I've been a member of the theater company here at Open Fist for 3 years, and this pop-up is the second year it's happening, and it's a great group of people. I would really recommend all your listeners come out and see the show.
Great, and which character did you play tonight?
I play Tara in The Trouble with Cashews, which is the end of the first act. It's a comedic piece, kind of a metaphor for what's going on in our society right now. It's kind of fun. I think she's actually on the surface trying to make everything okay, but scratch that surface, and like a lot of us, she's really outraged and upset at what's going on in our world and wants to kind of shine a light on it. Maybe people will do something about it. So the story's told kind of in a comedic, against a comedic backdrop, and make you laugh and maybe make you think a little.
I thought a lot about that. I mean, your piece was kind of a little hard to understand. I think that in Boxes was kind of, bit obscure.
Boxes is very Beckett-esque. Makes me think Samuel Beckett would appreciate that piece. It's very obtuse, but a lot going on in it, and a lot of fun. A lot of fun for the actors, but hopefully a lot of fun for the audience too.
If my viewers decide to come by and see these pieces, what should they expect to see?
I think they would see a really great range of a lot of different perspectives, and a mix of comedy and drama and satire. There's some monologues. It's very timely. It's reflecting kind of what's happening right now in our world. So everything from pieces that are connected to the Me Too movement to lots of political satire on what's happening, and a lot of fun. We don't take ourselves too seriously either. So I think there's something for everyone.
I agree a lot with that because, again, even though I was told this was political, then I was thinking, politics. It would be like late night television, but it wasn't offensive like that. I mean, it wasn't biased or anything. I thought it was just very even-handed the way they handled it.
Yeah, I'm so glad. I'm so glad you came. Thanks for supporting the Open Fist.
All right, once again, I really liked the performance. Thank you very much for being on the show.
Thank you.
Hi, my name is Ashton Marcus. I'm with KUCI 88.9 FM in Irvine. I'm here with
Bruce Dickinson. I've been with the company for 13 years.
Okay, which character did you play?
I play a Confederate statue that's going to be cut to pieces. Oh, I lived in Georgia for a while, and I lived in Alabama for a while, so I know Southerners pretty well. That helped me a lot to develop the character. I'm from the North.
Yeah, but what's your thought on I believe they were tearing it down because they just don't want Southern monuments around,
Well, I think it goes in with all the tearing down of the Confederate statues that was happening a few months ago. I think that was where the play was spawned from.
I really like the way you played it. First of all, you quoted a lot of great people. A lot of great ideas were expressed also.
Yeah, the author, I think, just pulled different quotes from different speeches. The statue had heard everyone over 100 years. He'd heard all these speeches, so he was like pulling pieces out of each speech.
I really love the performance. I love that. For some reason, I just love that because it was so timely. It was so timeless, and you played it with a lot of dignity too for a Confederate soldier.
Well, they had a lot of that. They had that dignity. You know what I mean? It was just in spite of everything. It's kind of like what's going on now. Pride before the fall.
Yeah. I really love the performance. Thank you very much for being on the show.
Thank you very much. You're welcome. Thank you for asking.
Hi, my name is Ashton Marcus. I'm with KUCI 88.9 FM in Irvine, and I'm here with
Klidonas. I'm an actor, writer, and spoken word artist, and I'm a member of Open Fist Theater Company. And one of my pieces was selected to be in the show, so I submitted my spoken word poem, and I'm performing it in the political pop-up. It began as a slam poem, and I had shot a video performance of it, and it really examines American entitlement and kind of how that can be the root issue of a lot of our hot button, controversial issues these days. So it explores that in a poetic way, and this is a whole new take on it, though, a whole new evolution of it, which is really exciting. It incorporates a movement piece. I have another actor on stage with me, so it's a whole new experience.
My viewers decide to come by and see these pieces. What should they expect to see?
They should expect to laugh, and also I think find some relief in kind of the issues that are explored on stage, to find camaraderie in that, community in that. I think that, it's called 1 year later. I think the past year has been a rough one for a lot of us, and I think that this show provides a sense of let's just get this out in the air and just honestly look at what that was like for us. So I think it'll give people that release.
I was told that it would be political, but actually it's really not that political. I feel that the late night talk shows are more political. I mean, more biased, you might say. They take a side. This one just presented things that were going on. Just said, this is what's happening, but then didn't tell you how to solve it or what to do.
Yeah, I mean, that's great. I mean, I know they definitely were looking for pieces that, exactly what you said, they highlighted those issues, but they weren't necessarily this is now, we're going to talk about politics and tell you how to think. Not at all. We really wanted to avoid being preachy, I would say, because that immediately kind of shuts people down.
I love the performances. I loved your piece also.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for being on the show.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Hi, my name is Ashton Marcus. I'm with KUCI 88.9 FM in Irvine, and I'm here with
Dylan Maddalena. This is the second one of these shows that I participated in, and the group is so fun, and I happen to, agree with a lot of the subject matter and have my own views, so it's a very rewarding experience, and it's just a lot of fun doing theater with passion and a great group.
Great, and which characters did you play?
I played an elevator repairman in the scene Elevator Repair. I think that my character is a right-wing sort of person, very working class, and trying to come around to open his mind and maybe there's not just one way of doing things. And I'm trying to convince my friend of that, my brother-in-law in the scene.
I heard at the beginning these were actually political plays and all. They weren't political. No one told you to do anything. It wasn't like you're supposed to vote this way or that way, or you're supposed to believe this and that. It was just problems going on right now with no answers.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. One thing that wasn't really part of this is a sequel to I forget what the other one was called, but 1 year later is 1 year since the new administration came into office, and there are all these new issues that have cropped up, maybe springing from some of the unrest that's been going on for years, but the Me Too movement obviously is like the big one, and that's what my scene was focused on. And it's not just, you're right, there's not a political perspective and it's telling you to do it. I'm sure they appeal to different people for different reasons. It's for everybody. So yeah, but it is good to be involved in the issues. It forces you to learn about things if you don't already know, and it's also a funny scene, which I enjoy. It's fun to perform those.
Yeah, I agree. I was very entertained tonight. It was funny at points. It was actually brought deep meaning to situations we're going, like for example the Me Too issue, like for example I guess other things too, the politics and all that. But I thoroughly enjoyed it, and I don't think it would offend anyone one way or another. It just brings on maybe a political satire, like I guess the Tonight Show and late night and all that stuff. I look at it in that line, and actually, if anything, I think it's less political than those talk shows.
There's always somebody to be offended, though. There's always everybody's like a critic, so it's nice to hear you say that you enjoyed it. It's not like it's not just from one perspective for one perspective. It's not good to be in the echo chamber. I keep hearing that term a lot. I'm glad you enjoyed it. I'm glad it's a fun play. It's fun to be in. As I said, the group is fantastic. And we're not out to tell anybody how to do anything. It's all about opening your mind.
Okay, once again, I really enjoyed myself tonight. Thank you very much for being on the show.
Thank you so much.
Hi, my name is Ashton Marcus. I'm with KUCI 88.9 FM in Irvine, and I'm here with
Kenia, Romero. I'm an actress based in LA. I'm a member of the Open Fist Theater Company. I'm actually a recent member, but I've been getting involved, and this is the first show that I've been involved with the theater company, and I love that it's a socially conscious show with a message.
Great, and which characters did you play?
So I was in a piece called Dreaming, and I played Julia, or in Spanish, Julia, and it's a story about a mother and a daughter being separated by potential deportation. Julia joins the military to save herself from that reality, from that potential deportation. She's very much like an activist. She would have wanted to be a lawyer if she had the opportunity to go to college like anybody else. She's practical. She's just really about justice. And she's afraid. She's afraid of what the future might hold, but she's hopeful. She's hopeful, and that's why she joins the military. She wants to make a difference in the world and also potentially save herself.
My viewers decide to come by and see these pieces. What should they expect to see?
So Dreaming is a very emotional piece. I really hope that people walk away from it just understanding that point of view. In this particular lineup, we're the only piece that talks about immigration and the Hispanic Latino point of view. So I really would just want people to learn about some of the realities that undocumented people face in this country. So they should expect to just come with an open heart and an open mind and learn about, maybe something that they don't really encounter otherwise. It's not really talked about as much as it should be.
Yeah, I really enjoyed your piece. I thought it was even-handed, and it wasn't, politically obvious one side or another. Just showed the facts and said this is terrible, and it was terrible. I mean, no, it was very well acted, though.
Thank you so much. I'm very, very blessed to have been born in this country, and I have so much empathy for my fellow Latino brothers and sisters that are going through this. I know quite a few people that are dreamers that were undocumented, and I had a friend in high school that was a genius. I mean, 4.0, and couldn't really realize his dreams of going to college. So I think about him when I do this piece, and I do it to honor all of the other people out there that are going through the same thing. It's really important to talk about.
Okay, I really enjoyed your performance. I enjoyed your piece also. Thank you very much for being on the show.
Thank you so much. I'm so glad you came. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Ashley Marcus. I'm with KUCI 88.9 FM in Irvine, and I'm here with
George Caleodis. This is my second production with Open Fist. I'm an actor here in Los Angeles. I've been here for about 10 years. I'm originally from Steubenville, Ohio. During the day, I'm a math professor.
Okay, and which characters did you play?
Today I played Marty, who is a doorman in a building in New York City, discussing with his brother-in-law, who also happens to be the elevator inspector, without giving it away, let's just say issues related to the hashtag #MeToo movement. Well, he's supposed to be sort of a schmuck, he's sort of offensive, he sort of doesn't get it. He's a little bit of an archetype, he's a little bit of a caricature of the male that just doesn't understand what all the fuss is about, doesn't understand that complimenting women is meant to be a compliment, and doesn't understand why compliments might be interpreted as sexualizing women, and why those things need to be thought about in this day and age.
If my viewers decide to come by and see these pieces, what should they expect to see?
It's a hodge. I don't want to say a hodgepodge, but it's a nice mix. It's a potpourri of different scenes and different styles and different moods, and they're all sort of supposed to be reflective of where the country is right now, politically and culturally, and they sort of reflect the upheaval that we're going through right now.
Yeah, originally, again, anytime I hear something's political, because I have a journalistic background, I basically have to make sure it's, fair, even on all sides and all. But in this particular case, I didn't think it was political as it was just a representation of problems that are going on. I mean, there were no answers to it. It's not like you should vote one way or another. It was just, these are going on, and that's it.
Right. But yeah, this is what we're dealing with right now, and that's exactly the point. Is nobody's saying that the answers are easy. Nobody's saying that the solutions are going to come quickly. But we need to start the conversation, and we need to think about these things. And now that things are coming to a head, we're at a moment now where we can talk about these things out in the open, and hopefully evolve towards a point where we do have solutions.
I really enjoyed the performances tonight. I thought they were enlightening. They weren't too political. It just showed problems that were going on right now. And I really enjoyed your performance also.
Well, thank you. Thanks a lot. Thanks for being here.
Thank you very much for being on the show.
Take care.
Hi, my name is Ashton Marcus. I'm with KUCI 88.9 FM in Irvine. And I'm here with
Rebecca Phelps. Well, I'm a longtime member of the Open Fist Theater. I'm so thrilled to be back on stage here. We've been doing this political pop-up. This is our second annual one. And, I really feel like it's evolved this year. Last year, we were all feeling a little raw, and it was very serious. And I think this year we found some comedy. We found ways to laugh. I think the skits were fresh. And it's really been exciting to be a part of it.
Great. And which characters did you play?
I was in a skit called The Contributor, and I play a Republican, which is not typecasting for me. And then I was also part of a series of skits that involve women telling personal stories about being attacked by men or feeling uncomfortable because of the way men have treated them. Those are very personal stories for a lot of the women. I was just acting in it. I was reading someone else's monologue. But I think for a lot of women, it's very cathartic to share these personal stories. And I think hopefully for people in the audience, it's cathartic to know that they are not alone, that these are very common stories, and that a lot of women have been through similar things. I think that's more than anything what we're getting out of Me Too is this idea of, that isolated thing that happened to me once is actually quite common.
Yeah, I actually worked for a motion picture studio before, and when I was there, they told me that 9 out of every 10 shows on TV get canceled. They don't make money at all. And then I asked them, then why are you doing it if 9 out of 10 lose money? And then, what they told me? They do it to meet women. The men produce the shows just to meet beautiful women.
That's terrible. Is that true?
Yes, that's true. That's why they do it.
I thought they did it because the 10th one makes billions of dollars. Well, I guess, people do whatever they can to meet other people, I guess. But that seems like a big waste of money to me. You could just be nice to people and maybe they would talk to you and then you wouldn't have to produce a television show.
Yeah, well, again, that's what they tell me. And then that stuck in the back of my mind until the Me Too movement. And then I read one article in the internet. A woman, basically, I think she was Natalie Portman, just said she just thought that was the way things were going to be. Yes. This is just it. It's always like this. It'll always be like this. This is just normal business. And I thought, this is just insane that you think this is normal business.
It's very much so. And I think the one thing that I've heard so much from my friends and from myself throughout the Me Too movement in the last year has been this sort of feeling of, oh, people care about this now? This has been going on forever. We just assumed nobody cared. And so the idea that suddenly people care and people are asking questions about it is like, oh, are we really going to change this? Because that would be great.
Once again, I really love the performance. I love that performance also, and I loved doing it. Thank you very much for being on the show.
Thank you so much for asking me these great questions.
Hi, my name is Ashton Marcus. I'm with KUCI, 88.9 FM in Irvine, and I'm here with
Rick Knolla. I'm here at the Open Fist Theater. Been a member for quite a while now, and I'm happy to be back and doing a political pop-up, having a good time.
Great. And which characters did you play?
I was playing Barney, who is an older man who is going back to college with younger kids and dealing with the age difference. I think when it comes down to it, it shows that, to me, it shows that once you've been aged out, it's very difficult to find your way. Even if training programs are available to you, there's no guarantee that once you go through those programs, there's going to be anything for you. So, in a way, it gives you something to do, but whether or not it's ultimately effective or satisfying, you never know.
Again, these are supposed to be political pieces. What I took from your piece politically is about the undereducated white males who basically worked hard, who basically feel like they've been left behind. The people who voted for Trump and all that. I take a look at a bit of them, like, all their jobs are going to China. They're all working at Walmart now. You know what I mean?
Right. Yes, but I don't know that everybody that's in that position is necessarily a Trump voter. And I think that older white people who are out of jobs, what's happening to them is real. Their life has been much easier than other people's lives in our society. There is no doubting that, and there's no way to compare what they're going through with what other people's families have gone through. But that doesn't make what they're feeling real to them. And so here in this particular place, it's just a 10-minute piece, but you're looking at a guy that, probably got married out of high school, had kids, wanted to go to college, but couldn't afford to do it, had to support his family, and so the economy kind of left him behind. All those years, he ends up as a janitor, but he's a janitor at a university. So they have a program that allows him to, as long as he works 40 hours, he still has to work his job, but he can go to school. So he takes that, and in his mind, he's thinking, this is going to make my life what it was supposed to have been. What I see in the news, it was supposed to have been. He goes through it. At his graduation, he's asked to do something that is janitorial back to it. And that makes him realize that, yes, I am the majority, I am a privileged white male, but this is still what's happening to me.
Again, as a political piece, one thing I like about these pieces is that there's such a big variety of it. In your piece, it might not have been as political. Other pieces were more political. Other pieces dealt more with, I guess, the Me Too movement right now. Yeah. So again, there was a big variety, of many flavors, many tastes, and it brought you to various different ideas.
Yeah, well, it wasn't supposed to just be about the Me Too movement, although that is the through line. I mean, that is obviously because that's the biggest thing that's happening right now. Well, probably say one of the most important things that's happening right now. So that's the through piece. But there's the other pieces put into it that show that everybody, most people, except very few, is what we would call the 1%, which is actually smaller than that, but everybody is has problems, and they're going through these things, and they're real for each of these people. Whether it's, the percentage of women that are subject to harassment, or even worse, is insanely high. I didn't realize until this. I didn't know how high it was. I mean, if you would have asked me before this movement, I would have thought, yes, it happens. You see it happening, but it happens to a small subset of people. And what this movement over the last well, probably, as embarrassing as it is, probably just since Weinstein, is really opened my eyes to what's happening. And so that's the through line, and I think there's pieces in this that, there's one piece that takes place in an elevator, and it's two white guys, fixing an elevator. And even though it's a funny piece, that really made me think, because both characters, one of them is a little more aware, of what's right and what's wrong, and the other one isn't. But when both of them speak, I'm finding pieces of myself in both of them. And I actually feel like in that 10-minute comedy piece, I learned how to be a better person.
Well, again, I really enjoyed the pieces, and I enjoyed that piece also.
Yeah.
Thank you very much for being on the show.
Certainly. Thank you very much for coming.
Hi, my name is Ashton Marcus. I'm with KUCI, 88.9 FM in Irvine, and I'm here with
Sandra Kate Burck. I'm an actress, and I also produce a children's educational series on YouTube called Storytime Sandy.
Great. And which characters did you play tonight?
I was in the 1 in 5. I believe that the piece is to show different examples of... The premise behind it is that 1 in 5 women experience sexual assault, so it's a combination of different stories that women have gone through and how it can really happen to anyone in various ages, whether you're walking to your car or you're at school with your high school teacher or you're in the comfort of your own home.
I was actually very moved by that piece. It was very, because again, I noticed at the end, no one applauded, and it wasn't because it was a bad piece or it was badly acted. It was just because it was kind of very uncomfortable. It was just like denial. It was just, this shouldn't be happening. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I can definitely resonate with that, especially because all of the pieces are true stories. The people presenting them may not necessarily be the ones that experience them, but all of the pieces come from someone's own personal experiences.
If my viewers decide to come by and see these pieces, what should they expect to see?
I think they should expect to have a great night with the Open Fist community, because we're out obviously having a good time afterwards, mingling with everyone, and also just experience a combination of a variety of different pieces. We have pieces that are just so different from one another, and I think that it's a really good community of commentary, and just come out, have fun, deepen your consciousness about our social and political climate right now.
I really enjoyed the pieces. I really enjoyed your piece tonight. Thank you very much for being on the show.
Thank you.
1 year later, we'll be playing at Atwater Village Theater from February 16th to March 3rd. For more information, go to www.openfist.org.